For government, you said you would listen to ideas from others about how to deal with the housing and homelessness crisis. Now, at the time you brought your rent certainty legislation in, we told you that it wouldn't control rents and that what was actually necessary was to set rents at affordable levels and put forward legislation in this House that would achieve that. You voted it down. Do you accept now that with the DAFT report showing 81% increase since the low point and 10% in the last year, that the legislation that you brought in has failed, and that what we actually need is legislation that will control and reduce rents to affordable levels, and not, by the way, and I have to disagree with my colleagues in Sinn Féin, controlling rents to the level of the CPI won't deal with the problem of new tenancies or rising rents. What we need is to set rents at affordable levels. Given what's happening, will you now consider that as the only sort of emergency response that can deal with rents that are now spiralling out of control?
This already in my answers to previous questions. The DAFT report that came out today doesn't cover the majority of people who are renting in Ireland who are protected by the rent pressure zones and face increases of 4% or less. They're not covered in that report. And secondly, while the government has heard the suggestions put forward by Deputy Boyd Barrett and his colleagues, which would essentially involve the government intervening in the market and setting rents at a certain level, presumably a much lower level than they're at now, we believe that would be counterproductive for the reasons that I gave, because it would result in a black market, in people paying under-the-counter cash payments to landlords and key money to get around such rent controls. And secondly, it would further dampen supply, because fewer builders would build and fewer landlords would want to be landlords. So those are the reasons why the well-meaning proposals being made by Deputy Boyd Barrett and his colleagues would actually make things much worse for people who are renting. Just